I don't want to hear from Ox because Ox is just gonna yap. I know how Ox works. I love Ox. Ox is my dog.
The truth. But
he's going. I know. But that's what I'm saying. I need Chill because Chill is going to be the main perpetrator of this offense because he's going to keep holding on to this 90s BS. So I'm trying to figure out. I want him to tell me verbatim.
You don't even know if it's him.
I just want to know. I'm just saying in case it is. Don't.
Just to
Band-Aid off,
before we go any further, just so you know, I had him at 8.
I know you did. I know you did. I'm trying to figure out your justification because I know who's at 6 and 7.
You know who he has above him. It's that guy.
I know. So you're gonna stop it, Ox. You're gonna have to convince me based on basketball reason and damn sure the playoffs. How in the world 6 and 7 are above 8? Because if you, Mr. Playoff, 750, did you see what he did in 1946 in the playoff? All that other stuff. I need to hear what playoff run do you have, or 3 years of a playoff better than the other dude that's ahead of him, leading to the final. Because you're gonna name some names and you're gonna bring up some numbers and series, and I'm gonna be able to counter. Well, this series was way better than that. Because especially about
who's number 8.
I know who's at 8. Go ahead.
I don't know. I want to know who's number 8.
First off, Dub 750. Second off, at 8, it is indeed a 3-time MVP. One-time champ, one-time finals MVP.
So,
okay.
Moses.
It could be anyone. It could be anyone. Yeah,
Moses Malone. Moses Malone at 8. Moses Malone at 8. Love to see it. Love to see it. Yeah,
and he's
Moses.
Still going. Nikola Jokic.
Y'all are so full of nonsense. Chill. I want you to make a
no. This is what you're not going to do. You're not going to no.
I need you to make a basketball argument for Moses Malone over Joker.
Absolutely.
Let me kick back. Let me kick back.
No,
let me hear this. Let me hear this. I want to hear what Moses Malone did in the playoffs over Nikola Jokic. That's what I want to hear.
Okay,
here we go. Rebounding? Is he a better rebounder? Is that what I'm hearing?
Your man is the man who just showed up not too long ago. So tell me why he belongs on this list.
You're such a casual when it comes to that stuff. But he has 15 years worth of data. 15 years worth of data. That makes no sense. Moses Malone. How many MVPs did Moses Malone win in a 5-year period?
3, I think.
Okay, so he won 3 and 5. Jokic got 3, 4, 3 and 4. What difference? Moses, the entire argument for Moses is his peak. He was again, just to be clear, I have Moses higher than most people do. I think I had Moses at 15. And I would say I had Dr. J at like 14 on my list. I love Moses.
You have Jokic, Swipa. What do you have?
So you have Jokic at like 4.
No. Jokic, so as of this I think I moved this summer. Jokic is 15 on my all-time list. I think Moses is 16. I think Dr. J.
Where's he at on this?
You're arguing over one spot.
No, hold on. Chill. Because it matters. It matters. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. 2 and 3 because no. Because the all-time list 2 and 3 matters. That doesn't make any sense. Like it all matters.
But
everything matters.
15 and 16, and you just said I just moved Jokic above him this year.
I do respect longevity. No, but hold on. But if you're sitting here telling me that, especially if we're doing Apex, because Moses Malone, his argument is going to be Apex. Chill. What did he do at his apex better than Joker, and especially in the freaking playoffs?
This is insane.
So let's discuss the playoffs for a second.
Please.
Your man,
go ahead.
Before last season, the 23 season, what did your man do in the playoffs?
What do you mean?
Not much. I'm not done. I'm not finished.
In terms of winning or just playoff player? Are you talking about playoff player?
So now what we're doing, this is what we're doing.
No, you're talking about playoff. You said playoffs. Wait, how is it goalposts? What do you mean goalposts? Performances? So wait, Moses Malone gets credit for mid-series, but they're going further. Whereas somebody plays great in series and then they lose.
What do you mean mid-series? What are you talking about mid-series? So no. Your mic is fine. I can hear you just fine. Right? There's nothing wrong with your mic.
Ox is right. My mic's too loud.
Let me turn my mic up a little bit. So since we on the subject of Moses, you talking about the playoffs. Tell me about your man. Tell me about your man.
Which series?
Tell me about
which series, Yapper? Which series? Which series?
How about last year when y'all played against Minnesota? How about that?
How did he play?
You mean your man who choked the series away?
He choked it. Hold on. So he had 30. He had 35 and 19 and 21 in the second half and 15 in the fourth. But he choked. That doesn't make sense. So chill. You are a Jordan Glazer. LeBron Glazer, and you're sitting here telling me that they can lose, but then they don't choke because aura. Even though you have series where LeBron James was 2 of 8 in the fourth quarter and lost the game. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. LeBron is your GOAT, and he lost in 2011, averaging 18 points a game. How does that work? How does that work? Go ahead.
Can I go now? AK-47, and he's shooting at everybody.
Can I go now? Because you just brought up. Because all he's doing is yelling, and he brought up playoffs.
I brought up information too.
No, you didn't. You just brought up playoffs because your man just had one of the most epic collapses, and we ain't even talking about LeBron.
It was the worst game.
Can I talk for a second? That's all I'm asking. Can I talk for a second? I only want to talk for a minute. I just want to talk for a second. That's it. I only want to talk for a minute. I just want to talk for a second. That's it. So you brought up the playoffs. Your man had one of the most epic collapses last year in the playoffs. With him having that epic collapse, that was a big deal for him. Other than that, you're talking about him in you're talking about him in 23. Outside of 23, what else has he done? Outside of 23. Now, when I'm talking about Moses, I'm talking about Moses, who dragged that 81 Houston team, who was below 500 to the NBA Finals. He absolutely did that, and they lost to the Boston Celtics. Then, on top of him doing that, he destroyed Jabbar in 83, who Jabbar was considered a top 3 player, destroyed him in the NBA Finals. I won't even talk about the fact that Moses Malone, for 8 years, 25 and 14, Swiper. You know how many other guys have done that?
That's cool. That's fine. But this is the issue. Moses was consistently worse scorer.
You just bring up playoffs, but then you bring up players, but you won't do that with Joel Embiid. But when
I bring up regular season with Moses, I bring it up with Embiid all the time. The only argument, the thing you're doing is you're parsing poorly, because the only reason Joker didn't go further is because of injuries on the roster, and you knew this. So for you to even bring that up, in 2021, who was on the roster with him? In 2022, when he lost, who was on the roster with him, and who did they lose to? Since you want to bring that up, they lost to the NBA champions in back-to-back. NBA Finals team in the West, and NBA champions in 22. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, they did.
And then he averaged, what did he average? 31, 6, 13, and 6? Yes. In that series versus the Warriors?
Yes, they did. And Moses Malone in 1981, he's playing on a team that's below 500, and he takes them to the NBA Finals.
You keep bringing that up.
And beats the defending NBA champs.
You keep bringing that up. Who did they play on the way there?
I'm absolutely going to bring it up. The reason why I'm going to bring it up is because you just talk about Joker losing to the eventual NBA champs. I'm talking about Moses, who beat the defending NBA champs.
Who's on? So that year, just go. So this is what I'm saying. If you're bringing up winning, since we're doing winning bias, who was on those teams? Who was on those teams with Moses that year, relative to who they played, relative to, because you're bringing up losing 22 first round with Joker, with no Jamal, no Michael, and they had Facu, Austin Rivers, Monte Morris, and Bryn Forbes in the rotation that same year. That's what I'm trying to understand. Because you're comparing situations without the context. Because you're saying, what did he do? Yes, you are. Because he lost to the NBA champions in the first round with by the way, Shield, since you're bringing all that stuff up, 48 wins that same season you're referencing. 48 wins that year with no other player on the roster averaging above 16 points a game into the playoffs. So that doesn't make any sense. He didn't have another great score on the roster or rotation player to go.
And I can say the same thing. I can say the same thing about Houston when they went to the finals in 81.
Who was on the team with him in 81?
Okay, so in 81 he had Robert Reed on that. He had Robert Reed on that team. Calvin Murphy was on the other side of who he was. Rudy Tomjanovich was a solid player. That's it.
So
that is it at that point.
Since you're juxtaposing, who was on the 22 roster?
Moses.
Who was on the 22 roster?
And a bunch of other guys.
Who was on the 22 roster with Jokic then?
So who was on the roster with? I mean, that's your guy. You tell me who was on the roster.
You tell me. You're the one bringing it up. You're the one bringing it up. You're the one saying he didn't make it to the finals. He didn't carry a losing team to the finals.
You're the one who brought up playoffs. So I'm bringing up playoffs in the 1981.
So Aaron Gordon, a backup. With DeMarcus Cousins, Bones Highland, Facu, Monte, Will Barton. That roster is by far, and Chill, and you know this and don't lie, by far worse than that 76ers roster.
Okay,
by far.
They lost.
You're bringing up comparing if you just do series for series, what he did in that series versus Draymond and the rest of that number one defense in the playoffs that literally wasted everybody else. He was the only player that they played against that walked through them and they could not do anything against. Last 3 games in that series, 35, 15, and 6 on like 73 true shooting. Last 3 games in that series.
So can you explain to the people then why Moses Malone was playing on a team that was below 500 and he took them to the NBA Finals?
Why?
With
you brought him up. You brought him up.
Exactly.
Why?
Because what you're doing.
Why?
Because he was the better player. Because what he did overall, he doesn't have one guy on his crew averaging more than 16 a game. He doesn't. And not only that, he's doubling these guys almost in the playoffs.
But you just said that team is better than the 22 Nuggets.
I didn't say that. You said that.
No, it is. I asked you. Is it or is the 81?
So it is. So don't say that I said it.
No, I asked you. I just asked you. I just asked you.
No, you didn't.
Okay, let me ask you again.
So let's get
is
back.
That 81 team better than the 22 Nuggets?
They're more talented, sure. They still were below 500, and he took them to the NBA Finals and lost to the Boston Celtics. That's going on. So when you talk about it, so how about we take it a step further than that? How about is that 23 team that won the NBA championship? How about them against that 81 team that went to the NBA Finals?
They lost.
That he took.
That team went 16-4 and won. And by the way, Jokic averaged 30, 13, and 10 through that run. So that's not even. It's not even a conversation.
Even though
it's not even a conversation.
And Moses Malone was what 27 and 15 during that series during those playoffs.
Again, just for context, 30, 13, and 10 on 61% from 2 or whatever it was, and then 46% from 3, and 80% from the line.
And this is what you're arguing, Swiper. You're arguing the playoffs. What kind of run? Because I want to make sure that we stay on topic. What kind of run did Moses have that was equivalent to what in 1983 when they won the NBA championship?
That was equivalent to 2023 Joker. You don't believe that. You don't even believe that. You don't even believe that. What did Moses average over the course of that run?
Because you just brought up, this is what you did. You just brought up with Moses Malone. You just brought up what he did. I mean, you just brought up Joker. What he did in the NBA Finals. What he did in the NBA Finals. I think he averaged like 30. If I'm not mistaken, I think
30, 14, and 7 on 30, 14, and 7 on 67.
Yeah, I think he averaged something crazy like that. So when I take into account what Moses did in that series against Jabbar, who at that point was considered the best big man in the league and destroyed him,
they swept them.
Yes,
that team was one of the greatest teams of the 19th century.
And Moses Malone, and if I'm not mistaken, Moses Malone averaged almost 20 and 20 in that series against Jabbar.
He was really good, but we're going to pretend like he didn't have
he was better than that.
They were elite.
18, that's almost 20 and 20.
They were elite. So wait, that wasn't an elite basketball team?
So even are you sitting here telling me that the 23 Denver Nuggets were an elite basketball team?
Wait, hold on. Is the 23 Nuggets better than the 83 76ers? I've never made that argument before. Are they better?
I'm not saying that they were. I'm saying that you're telling me.
Well, what's that got to do with one all-time?
You brought up them being elite. That's what this has to do with.
Who was on that 76ers team? Name that roster for everybody that's in the audience that doesn't know who was on that team.
Moses was on that team. Doc was on that team. Bobby Jones was on that team. Andrew Toney was on that team. Ivor Rooney was on that team. I feel like I'm leaving. Mo Cheeks was on that. Yeah, Mo Cheeks was on that team. So, with that being said, if you look at the 23 Denver Nuggets, Joker was on that team. MPJ was on that team.
None of those players are all-time greats. None of them. None of them are going to go down as Hall of Famers. I have argued Jamal has a chance. None of those players will be Hall of Famers other than Joker. Do you disagree?
I get DeAndre Jordan in the Hall of Fame.
No, I don't. I don't disagree with that.
You take Keontae Jordan?
I don't.
DeAndre Jordan. Oh, DeAndre Jordan. Sure.
I don't. Okay. I don't disagree.
None of them are going to be Hall of Famer, prime Hall of Famers on that 23 roster. So again, it's still not a comparison. He had a better team, but better situation, and even in 81. Go ahead.
But this is what you're arguing. You're arguing a playoff run. That's what that's what this was about right from the beginning. Sure. A playoff run. Who had a better playoff run than Joker? What Joker had? What Moses Malone did in 83 is comparable to what Joker did. And what you're not going to do is you're not going to tell me because he was on a better team, that's different. So what?
Yes, it matters you're playing with all-time great players. That always matters.
He wasn't playing with all-time great players when he did it previous, and they went to the NBA Finals on a team
they
that was
lost,
below 500.
and they got
smoked.
Still
went to the NBA Finals.
Wait, hold on. Was the Eastern Conference as good as the West in 22? Was that Eastern Conference as good as the West was in 22?
Was the Eastern Conference in 83?
I mean, in 81. In
1981. Western Conference.
Was the Western Conference?
Sorry, my bad. 76ers Houston. Was the Western Conference in 81 as good as the 22 conference for the West?
We all know that it's not. I mean, that's a bad argument.
Well, what are we bringing that up for? Like the fact that Joker had to see
the reason why we're bringing
Joker had to see the NBA champions in the first round.
The reason why we're bringing and guess what?
First round.
If I'm not mistaken, who did?
They saw the Lakers, but Magic Johnson was coming off an injury and was not Magic Johnson.
Right, but hold on, Kareem was still there though, right?
Yes, he was.
100%. In that series,
he was Jabal.
And it was also a 3-game series. So.
But in that 3 games, Moses Malone averaged 31, 17, 3 assists.
Destroyed Jabal again.
And got cooked and lost.
They won that series. What are you talking about?
You talking about 81? Are we going 81 or 83? Which one are you going back to?
Yes, they won in 81.
Well, Moses won both, to be fair.
We beat them both times.
But 81, the Rockets beat the Rockets.
I think that was the finals.
The Rockets played another team that was below 500 in the Western Conference Finals. To be fair,
and won.
So are we gonna say if the Kansas City Kings won in 81, are we just gonna start praising guys for making the finals on a below 500 team on Kansas City? Is that what we're
wasn't the point, Mars? We're talking about what these playoff runs were.
Otis Birdsong over Jokic because that below 500.
No, Mars, that's not the same thing. The reason why that's not the
same thing is they're both below 500. Would you say the same thing about Otis Birdsong getting the Kansas City Kings to the finals? Why?
He didn't take his team to the finals, though.
That's he lost to the Rockets. That's what I'm saying. If he did, if Otis
but he didn't, though, Mars. That's the point.
We're gonna act like we've never asked a hypothetical before. If the Kansas City Kings beat the Rockets in 81 in the Western Conference Finals, would we then be saying Otis Birdsong took a below 500 team to the NBA Finals, ergo he over Jokic? Would we be doing that?
The reason why we wouldn't be doing that because Otis Birdsong didn't do what Moses Malone did throughout the course of his career. That's why we wouldn't be doing that.
So you're acknowledging a better team. You're acknowledging a significantly worse conference in a much different era relative to a worse team, better player, better performance. So even if you want to do playoffs consistently, Joker is a better scorer in the playoffs. Do you agree?
He's more versatile.
Oh my Jesus.
Keep going, Swiper. Keep going.
Did you say yes?
He said he's more versatile.
Well, is that better? Is that better or no?
Yes.
Oh,
do you think? If you don't believe that, you don't have to agree.
Yes, I do think that. Yes, I do.
Is he okay? Rebounding, is it a wash?
Yes.
No. Oh, it's a wash.
Yes.
You think it's a wash?
Moses clearly a better glass cleaner than him.
Oh, it's a wash. I thought wash meant time.
Wash means
for
no, it's not.
He said Malone washes him.
He's clearly a better glass cleaner than Joker.
Passing.
Joker.
Playmaking.
Same thing.
Joker.
Okay, and you think Moses was just a better interior defender, basically?
I think he was a better overall defender than Joker.
I mean,
yes, I think he was a better
interior defender, but
I think he did.
Who was he playing against on the perimeter? That had to challenge.
I think he did everything better as a defender than Joker did. Everything.
Every single thing.
Yes, I think he did everything better than Joker as a defender. I do. Moving his feet, rebounding, blocking shots.
What?
I think he did everything
Moses
better
Malone moving his feet.
Moses Malone.
But that's why people don't put him in the conversation of GOAT defenders for a reason. He didn't move his feet.
Whoa. We're comparing Moses Malone and Joker as defenders. We're not comparing Moses Malone and Raj
moving his
We're not
feet
comparing
as if he
Moses
wasn't
Malone
a log
and Patrick Ewing. We're not comparing Moses Malone. We're not doing
He was a better glass cleaner defensively. He was better interior blocking shots, but moving his feet, anything outside the restricted area was not Moses' bag, and you know that. It wasn't.
And I can say the same thing about Joker. The exact same thing about Joker.
All I know is Joker. All I know is that whole run, they had a number two defense over the course of the playoffs, number 3 defense over the course of the playoffs.
And he was largely due to Joker, or was that
because you have a big
dominant? Yes, in
that run, also because of KCP and Bruce Brown. Because in that run, Joker was, I think, the second best pick and roll defender through the course of that run. Obviously, with KCP, with Bruce, all that stuff.
What the hell?
How do you make it up?
It's
the same numbers you can. It's the same numbers you can look up. Mitchell Robinson was number 1 that year.
We didn't have that in 1982. So that's a.
Who did they do it against? Who was he supposed to do it against? Who was he supposed to do it? Who was he supposed to do it against?
I was able to watch Moses.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out Pirate. I'm asking the same thing. He's saying he was a great defender. I don't know where that came from. I'm just that's just me though. So again, if he was a better,
Moses
3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
3 of them.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well,
Moses wasn't a great defender. That is not. He was elite.
I don't.
Moses was an elite defender. Yes, he was.
I don't see why this is.
Yes, Moses was elite. Was he the best defender in the game? Was he the best defender in the game?
I didn't know people still arguing.
What's the definition of elite?
Playing at an all-league defensive level.
Oh,
that's
so yeah, he made elite defensive teams. Okay.
Yes. That's
guess.
Definitely elite. And him
so
also.
Wait, who provided more on court value when they were on the court then? If that can we just do that? Who's the more valuable player when they're on the court?
The more valuable player?
Yes. Who contributed to winning more while on the court at the rate?
Moses.
Oh, you're
Moses.
We're not having real discussions anymore. I got it. We can move on.
Okay, let's move on then. Let's move on then.
Let's get David Robinson and his storied playoff career. Let's move forward.
Okay, sure. Let's move forward then.
Forward.
Absolutely. Because your entire argument.
I didn't want to do regular season. I could do regular season. Would you like to do that?
Regular season, and we could do the playoffs.
But you have chill. I just want you to understand. I just want you to understand. You will not win the regular season argument.
That's not the point.
You will not win it. So I brought up playoff because that was Moses' best argument.
Your argument, your stance is based solely on one side of the basketball. That's it.
No, Jokic is a neutral defender. I'm good with that. But on court value translates. The same thing with Steph Curry. Chris Paul is a better defender than Steph Curry. So therefore, you would think in your argument, if you're a better two-way player, that somehow means more value. That's not how basketball works.
That's exactly how basketball works.
No, it's
Holy
not.
Shit.
No, it's not. You're lying. Chill. You don't think Chris Paul is better than Steph Curry.
That's not the point.
No, chill. Why don't you think he's better? Why don't you think he's better?
So David Robinson provided more value than Magic Johnson?
We're turning this into something different.
No, it's not. Answer the question. Is Magic Johnson not more valuable than David Robinson?
Yes, he is.
Interesting.
Because the reason why is because he's the primary ball handler. Sure. However, what David Robinson did.
Sounds like Jokic, but I mean,
what David Robinson did, he needed other people to set him up. That's not the same thing that's going on here when we're talking. We're not. No, it's not the same thing as Moses, because Moses did have the basketball in the paint. Moses was able to get the ball to Doc. Moses was able to get the ball. He might not have passed like Jokic. I can't believe that you even.
You just no. 40 minutes ago, when I said Ewing and Alonzo Mourning are maybe the worst passing bigs I've ever seen, you're the one who brought up Moses.
Right.
But Moses,
he can pass. I didn't say that he could pass like. I didn't say he could pass like.
You said he might be the worst ever.
No, you said that, Mars. I didn't say that.
So I just want to be clear. CP3 can hold approximate value to Steph Curry because of the defense. Chill.
No. Fine.
What do you mean? I'm saying
no. You win, Swiper. Swiper, you win. You win, Swiper.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. You're the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.